Welcome back, everyone. It is Sunday, November 2nd in the NBA. My 5 favorite plays are on the way, as well as a plus 3,000 parlay. We'll dive into in just one moment. Now, typically on Sundays, my NBA videos the least viewed because the NFL's on for now, for the next, couple months for sure. But so if you want to check out those videos, you certainly can. But let's make some money in the NBA as well as the NFL. I'll link those videos at the end. Now, yesterday was a 1-1 day for the program in the NBA. Lost about 3/4 of a unit. Giannis came through for the assists. Pascal finished 2 PRAs shy, only 1 rebound in the second half as they won outright. A lot of his teammates showed up, so he really didn't have to do a ton. He did hit his over in points, just didn't get the rebounds that we were hoping for. And it was kind of a frustrating day because I did toss out a better slip. And of course, these were 3 leans that I had, and they all smacked. We talked about it in the video. All 3 of them hit. So whatever, at least that makes up for a little bit. But we obviously want the regular plays that I post in the video to cash. Love to see the better slip hit, though. Again, better if you sign up using my code SHOT, they'll give you a free $10 just for signing up. You don't have to make a deposit. They'll also give you a deposit match up to $200, and they will give you this Jaden Daniels JD5 free pick. So again, if you want to use it, you certainly can. I'll talk about better at the end of the video. But let's start with a long shot parlay. I don't know how long you guys are going to tune the video, but let's talk about it. Here's my long shot parlay for Sunday. It is on DraftKings. It is plus 3,368 odds. I played it for 0.1 units, so nothing too crazy. The 4 legs: Kristaps 2 plus 3-pointers, Cam Thomas 30 plus points, and then we have 2 legs in the Hornets game: Collin Sexton 15 plus points, and Canipple for making 3 threes. So those 4 legs, throwing a boost on there, plus 3,368 odds, 0.1 unit into almost 3.5 units. That would be electric to cash. I won't talk about each of these legs because I'll let you know they're kind of my plays. And I'll talk about why I like all of them. And let's just go leg by leg. We begin with Mr. Kristaps Porzingis. Why do I like him to make 2 or more threes? Minus 134 on DraftKings. He's a 1-unit play himself. Now, Kristaps has had kind of an up and down start to the season for the Hawks, but he's been pretty consistent scoring. And if you've ever watched this Hawks team play, you know this team doesn't have a lot of outside shooting, especially now that Trae Young is going to be out for about 4 weeks, what we just saw yesterday. So they're going to need guys to pick up the slack. Now, in their first game without Trae Young, they had Dyson Daniels had a good game. Jalen Johnson had a good game. They didn't really need Kristaps. He only played about 25 minutes. But in this game, I expect them to need him, most importantly, for his outside shooting, because this is a Hawks team that doesn't have a lot of that. And I will talk about why. Now, Kristaps, so far this season, he's over this line in 3 of 4 games, making 4, 3, 2, and 1 3. Today they'll face the Cavaliers. Now, they're a much different defense than what they saw with the Pacers. The Pacers literally have negative size. They just don't have any size inside. So you can drive, you can score, and that game was a blowout. So Kristaps didn't have to play a ton of minutes. But now they will need his size, especially against the Cavaliers team with a lot of size. Now, it remains to be seen if Jared Allen plays or not. He missed their last game. I really, really hope Jared Allen does play, but there's a chance that he does not, and that would not make me not like this pick. I still think he can make 2, because if it is, Evan Mobley is going to have to be a guy that's going to have to man down the paint. He would want to go out there and contest shots from Kristaps, but again, he's going to have a primary focus of slowing down guys scoring in the paint. We've seen guys knock down shots against this Cavaliers team. They currently rank 29th defensively versus spot-up shooters. Obviously, a big part of Kristaps' game is shooting threes. Also, Kristaps has shot 6 or more threes in his last 5 games versus the Cavaliers, as granted, as a member of the Celtics. But again, they need someone to stretch the floor. If Jared Allen's out there, I love this play. I don't even think it should be close to minus 130. If Jared Allen isn't out there, I don't love it as much because Evan Mobley's a better defender. But like I said, this is a Cavs team that does not want you to score in the paint. They'll live with you beating them from the outside. And the Hawks don't have a lot of guys that can beat you from the outside. Now, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, fine. But Jalen Johnson, no. Dyson Daniels, no. And then it's Sachet. Again, they're going to need some size out there. They're going to need some shooting. I love Kristaps to bang home 2 threes for us. My next play is going to be Cam Thomas. Obviously, I took him for 30-plus points in our parlay. He's the only one that's not his regular line, but I do love his over 23.5 points here at minus 112 on DraftKings. Like I said, you can ladder him up to 30-plus because I think if Cam Thomas gets us 24, very good chance he gets us 30 because Cam Thomas, when he's cooking, he ain't passing the ball. Now, Cam Thomas this season, like any net, been up and down. They've had some games where it wasn't even competitive, but we've seen him play well, and I think this is a great matchup for him against the Sixers. Now, Thomas's last 4 games, he has scored 33, 41, but then 9 and 19 points. Now, the 9 came against Houston. The 19 came against Atlanta, where he had the volume, but again, he did not shoot well. If you go to that game, you would look at him. He shot 6 for 20 from the field, 30%. That's not really going to cut it. Michael Porter Jr. scored 32, but this is a Nets team that does not have a lot of scoring. And I think they can keep this game close against the Sixers because the Sixers are down Joel Embiid, and the Sixers have really struggled against guards, currently allowing the second most points per game to pick and roll ball handlers, where Cam Thomas does majority of his defense. Where they've been good, they've actually only allowed the seventh fewest points per game to spot up shooters, which is kind of what Michael Porter Jr. does. So again, Cam Thomas should usage. And if you look at Cam Thomas's last 30 games when he shot 15 or more times and 30 plus minutes, the man's averaging about 28 points per game, going over about 2/3 of the time. So again, this is only a 5.5 point spread. I think he has a lot of usage here. Cam Thomas, if he's knocking down his shots, this will be a no sweat bet because he ain't passing the ball to the bums that they got out there. I think he can. They're only 5.5 point dogs, and this is a Sixers team that runs fast pace. Cam Thomas should get good amount of usage. Just need to knock down some shots at home, coming off a down game. I trust him there. My next play, we've already talked about him, but he's in the parlay. It is Collin Sexton, and we're taking him for 14.5 points, 15 plus at -116 on DraftKings. Now, when you watch this video, if it's close to the tip-off for this game, this line might have changed because there are some injury concerns here for the Hornets. Now, I'm not banking on LaMelo Ball not playing, but worth noting, LaMelo Ball was questionable going into their last game yesterday. He did play, but he is questionable here. So will he 100% suit up? I have no idea. I'm not the injury guy for the Hornets. I don't know. But there's a non-zero chance that Collin Sexton is back in the starting lineup. Non-zero chance that LaMelo Ball does not play tonight. Obviously, triggering a little bit more usage for Collin Sexton. But even with LaMelo or without him, I like Collin Sexton here because he's got a revenge game. Yes, he'll face the Utah Jazz, the team that traded him away for Yusuf Nurkic. Now, obviously, revenge game. You love to see that, especially early in the season. It's got, I mean, only 5 or 6 games in. Sexton has circled that game. The Utah Jazz, I'm sure he feels like they didn't use him correctly because they always kept limiting his minutes for no reason. But Sexton, prior to yesterday, had scored 15 or more points in every game this season. Now, it was taking some efficient shooting, but that's kind of Collin Sexton's game. Typically a very efficient guy. And like I said, I think there's a little bit of added motivation here to go out there and stick it to your old team. So I think he goes out there, scores 15 plus. He's been really good, really consistent. Obviously helps if LaMelo Ball doesn't play. I'm not betting this, banking on him not playing. I think that Collin Sexton will be able to get to the mid-range, get some spot-up looks. And if you look at this Utah Jazz team, they're down Walker Kessler, which should limit and kind of not make their rim protection worse, but that's what it will do. Their rim protection will not be as good. They're still going to give up the mid-range shots that Collin Sexton is comfortable taking. I just think he's going to go out there and just be a dog. That's what Collin Sexton does. He's a dog, and he's barking today. We're counting on him. Now, my fourth play of the video will be the final leg of our long shot parlay. You're not Canipple. This is, I forgot to change it, but is Canipple to make 3 or more threes. My apologies on the, you know what, here, I'll pause this and I'll fix it. And that, my friends, is the power of show business, baby. Yeah, Collin Canipple to make 3 threes. Now, I just talked about the Jazz and the Hornets matchup. I'm not confident. Like I said, LaMelo Ball plays. I honestly don't care. I think if LaMelo plays, it might actually help Con. I'm only playing this for half unit because there is some concerns here for Collin Canipple. The main one being that, well, the Hornets are on the back-to-back, and he is a rookie. So, again, a rookie on a back-to-back, maybe they limit their minutes or something like that. Sexton, I'm not too worried about. Also, I didn't want to have 1.5 units on Hornets, 2 units on Hornets overs. But obviously, I really think Collin Canipple makes 2, 3 threes, maybe even more than that. Now, if you don't know anything about Collin Canipple, he was the first-round pick for the Hornets, and he started off the season pretty strong. He made 3 or more threes in the first 4 games of the season, so pretty dang good. Now, his last 2 matchups have been tougher. Orlando, a team that does not give up a ton of threes, and Minnesota, who is a team that's been giving up more threes this season, but Collin Canipple shot 1 for 8. So if you're looking for a good bounce back coming off a 1 for 8 shooting night, you'd think maybe he shoots a little bit better tonight back at home. The Jazz, as I've already said many times this season, they give up the most threes in the NBA. Even without Walker Kessler, they're still giving up a bunch. And this team ranks 30th in spot up defense. So again, they're just conceding a ton of threes. If you just go to their last game against the Suns, 5 Phoenix Suns attempted at least 7 threes. Now, this is not a Hornets roster that has a ton of versatility to it. They don't have a ton of three-point shooters. So Collin Canipple, he's out there with the starting lineup to shoot threes. That's what he's out there to stretch the floor. And he's been shooting pretty well prior to last game. So I think he gets plenty of opportunities here. Come off a 1 for 8 game. I like it. I know a couple people have been burned by Collin Canipple the last few days. I think today's the day to back him. So I like him to make 3 threes. Only a half unit because, again, I don't want 2+ units on Hornets, guys. Hopefully he comes through. Hopefully Sexton comes through. My 5th play in the video will be our Dub Club exclusive. Today's actually an under in assists. So 1 unit play. Again, if you want it, you can join the Dub Club. It's 50% off for your first month. Use that link down below. We have 2 Dub Club exclusive NFL props, which have been really good there. We'll also have a Dub Club exclusive long shot NFL parlay. So again, you can tap into that if you want to. And finally, I'll wrap up the video with my Betr entry. Reminder on Betr, if you sign up using my code SHOT, they will give you a free $10, no deposit necessary, and up to $200 bonus on your first deposit. If your state's in purple, you should sign up. They'll give you this Jaden Daniels free pick as well. Man, if this hits, I'm going to be a little bit pissed, but that would mean that we cash Kristaps and Cam Thomas, so I'll allow it. Now, the two other plays at the bottom are plays that I heavily looked at. Mark Williams, less than 12.5 points against Wemby and the Spurs. Good luck to him. And Austin Reeves, 29.5 points plus assists. I like both of those bottom two. I think both have pretty good hit rates, and they're reasonable to expect. Mark Williams could get into foul trouble against Wemby, and Austin Reeves, he didn't have a great game last game, but now they're facing, I forget off the top of my head who they're facing. They're facing a team that plays no defense. That would be the Miami Heat. They play some defense, but dang, they're playing fast. So I think you'll see Reeves have a good amount of opportunity here. So $15 on that puppy turns into 150. I will bring back the streak. We talked about that at the end of the video yesterday. We'll bring this back. I did kind of do a mock one yesterday, and I did smack. So kind of wish I ran that officially, but we'll start that on Monday and do that every single day, starting with $25. Or you can start with $5. I don't really care. Either way, those are my picks. Let's cash this long shot parlay. If this long shot cashes, that would be electric. And I certainly think we got a chance. I really do like all these legs. I think we got a chance. That's all I'm saying. Either way, thanks for tuning in. I'll link 3 NFL videos on the screen, plus the ladder challenge, a ton of stuff linked. Go check them out. We have a 2-unit play. I'll let you know, 2-unit play of the day is right up here. If you want to check that video out, plus my touchdown parlay, you can do that. Thanks again for tuning in on a Sunday. It's Austin. I'm signing out, and I'll see you guys back in the next one. Peace.